Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Ha ha. Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing good. And man, I can't put "buckle up" in the title too many times, but you know, we're getting to the point where we better buckle up, and the ride is just starting. We got 8 months, 8 months to go to the big day. Hi, Nikki. How you doing? Diane, Tennessee. Nice to see you all. Everybody's rolling into Linda. Hi, Jax. Dog. Kicking bird. So, Mary, nice to see you, Mary and Lone Wolf. Nice to see you all. Well, Judge Cannon, I put it on my thumbnail. Judge Cannon loaded. I'm going to put Judge Cannon fires. But it's coming, I believe. Jack pretty much laid down his arm today in that hearing, and we'll go over that. And Fani's got a big day tomorrow, and I got a lot of thoughts on that. And a lot of things are gelling the way I thought they would, even with people like Chris Cuomo. Remember we discussed him in prior broadcasts? And, you know, I'm not going to belittle what this nation is going through and what our friends and neighbors are going through by saying, oh, it's just a show, get your popcorn. But in some respects, people are being encouraged to behave, you can say perform, or act in certain ways at certain times that benefit the notion of unity, okay, and comity. I mentioned that word a long time ago, comity, comity. And the founding fathers used that word quite a bit. We're never going to get everything flushed out, all the baddies cleaned out, and our democratic republic restored without comity, okay, in the body politic. So hopefully we'll be hearing those terms more in the future from people, but more importantly, more people who are willing to achieve that goal, comity among the body politic. So we'll get into that and a lot more. Came out that Biden, you remember the movie Ben-Hur with, oh my goodness, help me out in the chats. Ben-Hur, he used to be president of the NRA for my cold dead hands. Oh my gosh, he starred in Planet of the Apes. Where's my brain going? I'm sorry, folks. Hi, Georgia, how you doing? Sissy, nice to see you. Leisha, nice to see you. Yeah, lots of things are popping off. Linda, White Lightning. I can't go back but so far. If I missed anybody, I apologize. So let me see if anybody got it. I don't think anybody got the question I asked the other night. Hi, Damon. Uh-oh, tornadoes in Central. What's around on the both ends and high in the middle? Did you hear Alina Habba? She said that Joe Biden couldn't spell Bob backwards. What's round on both ends and high in the middle? I'll tell you, it's Ohio. But anyway, hope you guys are safe. Charlton Heston. Hi, Shine Dixie. Diane said Charles Hester. It's Charlton Heston. Let's see if Shine got it right. Charleston, and his last name is, and David got the Heston. And Kicking Bird put it all together. Charlton Heston. Moses. He played Moses also. Hi, Phil. How you doing? Em, how you doing? So, yeah. My question the other night was, what was the number one thing that Trump said he was looking for as far as who he would pick for vice president. And I don't remember seeing an answer, but, we bopped around from a lot of subjects. Hi, Fancy Oak. Maryland, how you doing? Flannel cheese, how you doing? So what is the main thing he said he was looking for in a vice presidential nominee? Oh, gosh. Well, I hope she's safe, Nikki. Bubba, nice to see you. Tennessee. Tennessee says honesty. Well, that's a good trait. Ian said loyalty. He said it was the main requirement. Shine says pro-life. All those things are on my list. But every list has an order to it. This is about coffee. Ronald says America first. Ha 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 ha. Ian said human. Yeah, no lizards. We aren't lizards running around here. Someone with a brain puts God first. Well, it's Donald Trump's requirement. The first thing, not my opinion, it's what he says. So I'm sure in his mind, just about everything everyone is saying would be included. He said that they have to be ready to be president from day one. No greenhorns. No learning on the job. That's the answer. They have to be prepared and ready to assume the office from day one. And he said, I'm in my 70s, and, that's the way it goes. And it's not something good to think about. But the fact of the matter is I'm not going to be around forever. And who knows what can happen. Oh, Jax, you said that? Let me see. I'll scroll back. See where, I don't want to not give you credit. There you go. Jax said, someone that can take over. There you go. You got it, Jax. MS Motorsports, how you doing? Haha, JFK and Jr. Well, I tell you, folks, we'll talk about JFK Jr. in some depth, but his fiscal history, his propensity towards socialism, it's pretty strong. He makes Bernie Sanders look like Ronald Reagan. Hi, Araceli, how you doing? Yeah, good. How you been doing? Let's see, MS. Oh, okay. Yeah, gonna see the surgeon. All right. Well, be kind to yourself. Don't get those stress hormones flying around your body all day and night. Just relax and look forward to better health and better times. Okay, that should help you no matter what's going on. So I heard that while these arguments were going on, Eileen Cannon was asking them some pretty pointed questions. And namely, all these presidents, never mind what we just heard about Joe taking his paperwork for 40 years, nobody doing anything or saying anything about it. People not even complaining about it. But all the other presidents I've talked about in the past, how you can watch on YouTube Eisenhower talking with Kennedy over the Cuban Missile Crisis, okay? And there's probably classified conversations concerning perhaps Bay of Pigs and a lot of other things. A former president has high clearance, security clearance. He always has it. He's an asset, experience. Who would throw that away? Who would, for people that are trying to find out where we stand on this, where Trump stands, where the law is, I don't mean you when I'm saying this, but the mouth-breathing, rabid bunch that thinks a president, when he leaves, can be stripped of all his papers, okay, and treated like a pariah, never to be spoken to, is not allowed to be privy to anything. I'm sorry, but I'm not saying they're idiots. I'm saying they're acting like idiots. Anybody who holds that attitude just because somebody doesn't like the fact that Trump was president doesn't mean he wasn't president. He gets to keep his papers from his service. He has clearance to hold on to papers. His services may be needed, his advice and counsel. And in Trump's case, he may very well be back in the office again. So, get that. If you want to get in a rational discussion about what's in this nation's best interests and how things really work in reality with classified documents and how we treat our presidents and former presidents, pay attention. Don't be stupid. Don't talk stupid. Don't repeat lies. Trump was handling nuclear secrets and giving away stuff and hiding stuff in his toilet. What the hell kind of stupidity is that? Don't repeat it. It's scurrilous, it's slanderous, and it's propaganda. And that I've seen the proof, and I'm not going to close my eyes to it. And those that haven't seen the proof, they will be seeing the proof. That's what's going to happen with this Fani Willis. That case is going to go through, I believe. I believe that case is going to go through, and I believe that judge already made his mind up. And way before the other guys started to run, way before the hearings and stuff, there's dirty laundry, yeah. But what's going to happen? It's going to be announced tomorrow. A lot of people thought it might get announced today. But it didn't. And that is because we don't want to have information overload. Okay? What we were dealing with in the news today, and where everybody was wanting to get a picture of Trump going into the courthouse with a mean look, or trip over the curb, or whatever they wanted, or some paid protester, make a ass of themselves. They were paying attention to what happened with Eileen Cannon. Well, Cannon said, "Where's precedent for this? Reagan, Carter, name every one of them, Johnson, Eisenhower, Clinton." And that is a case, Clinton is a case in the books, case closed. He had his confidential, classified information in his home, and some of it was in his sock drawer. That's why they call it the socks case. And the judge that decided that case was the same judge that ran Roger Stone over the coals, and also Paul Manafort. Put Paul Manafort in jail. Okay? Well, she ruled that Clinton could, as a former president, he's got the clearance, the papers are his during his administration. He could do as he wishes. So why are we going through this exercise? That was a Democrat judge. He's still sitting on the bench. Because I think it's all being laid out to show the people, and it's drawing out all the cockroaches. How do you catch a dangerous animal? You trap them. Speaking of traps, we'll get into that too. This TikTok thing is a trap. A trap. And I played that video many times, and I'll play it again in the future, I'm sure, where Trump is president, and he has a guy behind with a cowboy hat. I think he's got some Sheriff Association guys with him, and he was talking about the lover, Peter Strzok and his lover, and you could call it treason. What they did, they said they had an insurance policy. Well, at the beginning of that video, he says, we're going to weigh our options and assess the situation as far as the service provider or whatever it is that is the engine for TikTok. Okay, he never said he wanted to get rid of TikTok, and now he's saying he doesn't want to, and I don't think they should either. I don't watch it. I don't have it on my phone, but I have had a lot of videos sent to me that are TikTok videos where people tell the truth, where Trump is put in a good light, where we get to, a lot of people, they put these TikTok videos of Dylan Mulvaney up and all these, what I consider to be screwballs, okay, and weirdos and losers. And people think, well, that's all TikTok is. No, it's not. There should be, as in any household accessible service, whether it's television, okay, or what somebody says over your phone that your kids can hear, same thing. There should be content moderation as far as images, okay. You sit there you watch the old Chris Hansen videos, where they catch these guys in the houses. What were they doing? They're sending pictures of themselves to somebody that they think is a 13-year-old, 12-year-old, or 14-year-old, whatever, and they end up with their nose in the dirt with handcuffs behind them, okay? So it shouldn't be any different for somebody that's knowingly putting stuff like that up on a household app, okay? So, but anyway, that day will come when there's a what I've heard called before an internet bill of rights. Okay, people have the right not to be psychologically abused or not to have their children psychologically abused through obscene imagery and other things that don't infringe on free speech. Alarmist. Like yelling fire in a crowded theater. But anyway, these things are coming. And the point is with TikTok, some people have pointed out, and a lot of Republicans are falling for it, voting to get rid of TikTok. What was the rule we said? If they can do it to them, they can do it to you. Right? Whenever the government has power. Well, if they can say TikTok is overly influenced by a foreign entity, so we're going to force them to sell. And remember the other caveat, just because the House passed it don't mean much. It's got to get through the Senate. Okay, and the Senate, if they change it, they got to kick it back to the House for approval. So this is very early. But if they say that thing, they could say the same accusations about Elon Musk with X and force him to sell it. Or they could say the same thing about Trump and Truth and then Social, right? They can make him sell it too. And guess who would snap it up as buyers? DEI, New World Order, creepos, okay, which will automatically run the program D-A-R, okay, P-A, DARPA, okay? The same crap algorithms, like Trump said, Facebook's Meta, okay? It's way worse and way more of a threat to this country than TikTok or X or Truth Social, right? So, you know, that's one thing I don't like about a lot of these firebrands. You know, the firebrands that always talk with their fists balled up, and they don't think before they talk. They get into Congress, and then they end up voting. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. If they can do it to them, they can do it to you. So anyway, maybe this will be a lesson learned by a lot of people. Like I say, it's still got a ways to go. So that's right, single songwriter, they do. Hi, David. Let's see, Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? Yeah, people send me good tic-tacs, whatever. They send me good ones too, you know, where people lay it out, and a lot of them get taken down. A lot of them get taken down. They're for Trump, you know, they're not foul or you know, I get some that are every other word is an F word, and you know, to me that's, you know, kids don't need that. And that's where we have to, you know, look at our creators and say, hey, you know, why don't you take a bar of soap out, wash your mouth out before you get on a site that kids can log on to without any special. Joel says, Crypto Cat. How you doing? Crypto Cat 2022. Is that your pseudonym? Is that your secret name? Or did I miss a Crypto Cat? Hi, Ronald. Well, yeah, Biden wants control. Well, Biden don't want anything except bigger Snickers bars. It's his handlers. So anyway, Trump put out a truth concerning this situation with Jack, and that's in quotation marks because we don't know his real name. Oh, the outernet. The outernet will be victorious. Well, he's got kids too, so if he could get more like a Jack Valenti world. Remember, I spoke about him the other day, Jack Valenti. But anyway, here's a truth from Trump, or he teed off. He teed off and said, President Trump and his counsel have been consistent and steadfast that this case has no basis in law or fact and should be dismissed. Today, after conceding serious discovery violations by his office. Serious discovery violations. Well, what do we mean by that? The Manhattan DA agreed to an adjournment. We will continue to fight to end this hoax and all of the other crooked Joe Biden directed witch hunts once and for all. And that's from Stephen Chung, Trump campaign communications director. So we want to find out about these discovery violations. And we all, like I said, all the three big ones, Letitia, Jack, and Fani, are all under the microscope, whether they know it or not. And good. Good. It's time that they're miserable in the evenings. Anyway, here's Trump's message of TikTok. Tic-tac. Tic-tac is less of a danger to the USA than META, right? which is Facebook, which is a true enemy of the people. They spent $500 million against me and our great Republican Party, air quotes, lock boxes and all, and should have never been allowed to do that. Is that true? 500 million, $500 million just from one entity? Wow. TikTok didn't. Like crooked Joe Biden, Facebook is a great threat to democracy and will only get bigger and stronger if TikTok is taken out. Do them both? Question mark. And restrict the money allowed to be spent on politics and lockboxes by Meta Facebook. Yeah, do them both. He put that little hint in there. Why don't you make Zuckerberg sell Facebook? I mean, they got him dead to rights. Wait a minute, I got a message up here. All right. Robin went by Buy Me a Coffee and sent a message. Robin says, I'm listening. Good to hear that, Robin. The cardiologist cleared me for surgery next week. Oh, my goodness. Says, for me to stay strong, Mountain Man, I will. And we hope you do well, Robin. You relax. You and MS Motorsports. Wow. Remember, you should keep a positive outlook and be at peace and be kind to yourself. And we wish the best for you. Thank you for stopping by. Buy me a coffee. Help me out. If you go there, folks, it's just enter Mountain Man. You put buymeacoffee.com, or Nikki put a link in earlier. I appreciate that, Nikki. Thank you. And while you guys are thinking about it, hit the like button. Helps the video to get around. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for everybody. You know, and you got to wonder how much of this stress has been caught, exacerbating. That's a word I learned a long time ago. Exacerbating a lot of our conditions, mental, physical. Hey, we gotta they'll only bother us as much as we let them bother. You think about the poor souls over there in Haiti, and even though it seems so alien and far away from us, and I said this a couple of years ago, and a lot of you, Robin's one who's been around since the beginning, Bubba, they'll all vouch for me. I said, you have no idea what it's like until that door comes flying off the hinges. Somebody just kicks the door in, and then you're off to the races. And don't think it can't happen in this country. I said that. And that's what this whole exercise is to avoid. There, Nikki gave you some booms. Boom, 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 Robin. Yeah, take them both away. George said TikTok, you take it away. What's next? Yeah, they'll go after Truth Social. They don't have any business passing that now. They can do something about, somebody put a post up about, where was that? Just Jen Reacts. I've talked about her in the past. But let me finish up these Trump truths where he teed off. And I will get to people don't realize what they have given their children access to when they give them these phones. It's the gateway to hell, okay? The keys to your child's psychological well-being and health. You've just given the keys to whatever freak and weirdo is out there in the Ethernet, can reach in and assault your child psychologically. I wouldn't let them have a phone. When I had kids, I wouldn't even let them have it. Anyway, Trump went on to say the things that took place at the Manhattan DA's office in conjunction with people from the DOJ put in charge of, quote, getting Trump are truly a sight to behold. They illegally withheld thousands of pages of documents. Then you have the really shady, quote, Pomerantz issue, the moron that wrote a book. And wow, people have never seen anything like this one. This will make Fani and her lover look like small potatoes. You know what that is? That's a shot across the bow. Because he said in the past, well, I guess they're not going to do anything about Pomerantz. He gets to break the law and write a book and doesn't get his license taken away, doesn't get charged, doesn't have any suspension or nothing. I guess that's too bad for me, right? Well, now he's saying this is going to make Fani look like small potatoes. Kind of hard to make Fani look like a small potato. Let me just cruising through the chat. Yeah, Mike Johnson let out more of the big day, J and then 6. Yeah. Well, this thing in Haiti, that guy, that barbecue guy, I talked about him 2 days ago, remember? And I kind of talked in code. But you know how everybody else is. They're always a day or two behind Mountain Man. And now everybody's talking about it. And he's an example of quick trials, where you need quick trials. In public, quick and public trials. And maybe that day will come. But it's horrific, and you can't hardly go through any media without your sensibilities being offended very strongly. Like the young girl that got assaulted in school. And they arrested the person that assaulted her. She was 15 years old, and they're going to charge her as an adult. Yeah, charge her as an adult. But Fox News was playing that clip, and unfortunately, people need to see it. People need to see it. And now the thing with barbecue guy, like I said, I saw that and didn't want to, so I don't have an autoplay on anymore. I know enough about horror, okay? Horror and what's going on in Haiti. So anyway, but we're going to be seeing more of it. I saw a thing on Citizens Free Press before I came live where somebody got one in the noggin, okay, on a subway, New York subway. And it showed all the passengers. It was, I don't know, 40-second video or whatever. I mean, people were crouched down in total fear, frozen. And the door would open and you could hear the fear in their voice, close the door. And you can imagine people spending day after day, year after year, riding the subway with their groceries or their books from school or work or whatever. Everything's fine. Once in a while, you see somebody getting a scuffle up or something, But now the crime, all right, and the fear is going to be palpable, and things are never going to be the same. Bev and Mike, stop by my call. Thank you, Bev. I appreciate that, guys, very much. I know you're out there. I'm on TV when Bev and Mike watch me. I'm a TV star, but all you see is my orange head pulsing. That's okay. Maybe one of these days I'll do a face reveal. I was going to get a facelift, but I backed out. I backed out when they wanted to charge me for 2 cranes. So, when I get to that point, maybe I'll do it. We'll see. Just joking. Just joking now. But anyway, I'm going to give you my analysis here on a couple of things. And since I mentioned him earlier, and we talked about it I believe my last broadcast, real quick, about Fredo. Now I shouldn't call him Fredo, Cuomo, and his conversation with Tucker. And everybody was wanting to listen to it, thinking there's going to be fireworks, thinking there's going to be something revealed, and at the end, everybody's like, "Gee, this was boring." But no, I said no. It's the beginning of a dialogue, bringing two disparate sides closer together in rational dialogue. No one overly abusing the other's point of view and listening. Well, what's the big thing that's up today? I see creators that I've been watching for a long time. Oh, you got to watch this clip from Cuomo. And I haven't watched it yet, but I won't say I don't need to, but I know it's going to be. It's going to be discussing comity, okay, in the body politic. What I was talking about 2 years ago. And I talked about Lincoln, his inaugural address just before he was assassinated. He said, we have to bind the nation's wounds. And I think the Truth and Reconciliation Act, what Trump signed, is being implemented, and Cuomo's got to play along. And I'm not saying he's not genuine. Keep in mind, his brother's being investigated about these nursing homes where people lost their lives in nursing homes. It's being investigated. It's criminal. And it's not where Durham or Horowitz or members of combat commanders and operations commanders in the military, that they're all walking around going, blah, 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 and they don't know what's going on. We've been in a psychological firefight, okay, for intensely since Trump went down the escalator. And it is very intense right now. So, yeah, I can imagine that he's been sat down. Chris Cuomo's been sat down. Not in a way to menace him or whatever, but say, hey, look, here's what's going on. And here's what happened with your brother. Did you know that? No, we're going to start mending fences in this country, and you're either going to help us with the truth or there's going to be problems. Okay. I know in my heart that conversation's been had, and was at the direction of Donald Trump with the Truth and Reconciliation Act. And Cuomo ain't the only one. Who knows why Ken Buck's stepping down? A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing possible. And, it's not good. It's not good on the face of it. But we don't know. We don't know. We've tossed around 3D chess a lot. But in a way, it is strategy. It's game theory. It's understanding that psyops are a weapon. What is presented to the public to agitate, irritate, stimulate, whatever, a psychological response is a weapon. Is a weapon. And we've been in the firefight. Always remember what Trump said. They've been conducting, he said it, illegal psychological warfare campaigns, in the plural. So I think Cuomo has had what Biden talked about with what he said he was going to do to Bibi. I think Chris Cuomo's had a come to Jesus meeting. And I think his brother Andrew, he might have to have that meeting in his own heart, in a jail cell, or worse, given the gravity of that situation. And what's Andrew going to do? Sing like a damn bird. So we don't want to go through that whole thing of how they put people in nursing homes, how this whole thing came around. But for new people tuning in, you're going to be hearing things from people who were traditionally adverse to what I'm talking about right now, traditionally adverse to Trump, traditionally adverse to the truth. You're going to hear them coming out in this conciliatory manner, mature manner, and calm manner addressing the facts. You're going to see more of it, not just Chris Cuomo. He's a start, one of the starts. So, hey, we can't put people on too much of a psychological roller coaster. It's going to be one. It's going to be one. And you don't want that person to take such a sharp and abrupt turn that they lose the ear, and I'm pulling on my earlobe, they lose the ear of the people they used to have that we want to bring into the conversation in a rational manner. So I'm sure to everybody in the chats what I'm saying is making sense. And I'm hoping there's someone out there who has not engaged in this side of the discussion that can see what I'm saying. And if you can go on Twitter, if you can go on whoever you listen to and see what Cuomo's got to say, that everybody's saying, you ought to listen to this on Newsmax. He gives about a 4 to 5 minute monologue. That is, that's why I'm saying I'm not going to call him Fredo anymore, because he's impressing people on both sides. Because we got to live together. We got to respect each other and operate from a basis of truth. Okay, that being said, what's going to go on with Fani? What's going to go on with Fani? Well, I've listened to Alan Dershowitz. I've listened to Robert Goya. I've listened to a number of different people. And some people are on the side. I've listened to more than those two, and I'm not describing anything I'm saying to just those two. But some of them are saying Fani's got to go for the sake of the judicial system. If anybody's ever going to have trust in the judicial system ever again, she's got to go. And that's what the judge is going to do. I've heard people say Fani Willis didn't do anything wrong as it applies to this case. She's done things wrong. We all heard it, we all saw. It was a Peyton place. It was a general hospital. Everybody listened to all the drama. Who's cheating? Who's being true? And whose car's parked next door? Who's doing right by someone tonight? You all heard that song. Whose car's parked next door? But anyway, we saw all that stuff. Some attorneys say, hey, Merchant, she's married to her husband. They're both working on the case together. Who is it? Joe Geneva and Victoria Townsend. They're married and they work on cases. They can claim the significant other. Well, it's not the court's business. What's going on between me and my wife, who I'm separated from, and me and my significant other, my dear Fani. Hey, there's merit to that. There's merit to that. It's called private life. And of course, I know, don't get started on me. I know they fibbed. I know they ate caviar and Grey Goose and fibbed about the money and all that. But it's, one way to put it is, I'm in court on a speeding ticket. And I said, guess what? I saw the prosecutor run a red light the other day. You know, judge is going to go, well, what about you? We're not talking about that. We're talking about you speeding. You know, so there's a lot of different things to go on here. But I think there's so many escape hatches to do what I feel is a priority. For the evidence to get out about what happened in Georgia, the actual story, the proof, to show America what they did to us. No doubt. Just like when they put them on the hot seat about the text messages, put them on the hot seat about their perjury in a divorce case, hands down, you did it, you're wrong. We got to have that. And the only way to put it up there is for this case to go forward in some way. Trump's going to act like he doesn't want it to go forward. But he does. They're going to make us show the stuff, show everything. So, well, people say, well, the judge said when my kids grow up, I want them to be, you know, proud. I want them to have faith in our judicial system. I'm not going to swap out my integrity over politics. Yeah, I heard all that. But what's his ways he can manage this? He can say, Terrence, you know, Terrence, people have questions about your qualifications. People have questions about how much money you got. People have questions about this. People have questions about that. Fani is putting her filings. She's a what? Constitutional officer. We'll get back to that in a minute. Nathan's not a constitutional officer. He's been hired by Fani. And so you got to go, Nathan. Or the court strongly suggests that there be somebody else to take the lead, all right? Something like that. And Fani stays in charge. Why do I think that as a very strong possibility? Well, everybody's like, wait, yay! He threw out 6 charges. 3 of them directly dealing with Trump, but 6 charges altogether. He threw them out the window yesterday. Yay! Well, why didn't he throw all of them out? You know, if he was going to do away with this case, why just do 6 charges? Now, we know their modus operandi. Like Trump's on the phone with Ratburger or whoever he was on the phone with. Fani says, well, every time he pushed the button on the phone to dial, that's a crime. That's 7 numbers. I don't know, Fani. He had to dial the area code because he was in D.C. We're in Georgia. Okay, that's 11 charges. That's 11 charges each time he pushed the button on the phone. And they take one phone call and they make 12 charges out of it. That might be a little bit drastic, but you know how they do it. So it wasn't hard for the judge to just trash bail some of those charges. But if his intent was to take Fani off the case, why didn't he just get rid of all these specious charges? It's going to go forward. In other words, why just do a few? So we know it's going to go forward. We don't know the timing. We don't know if it's going to be just Nathan, maybe nobody. Maybe an admonishment, maybe a referral to the ethics of the Bar Association or whoever. And some, what's the other guy's name? Terrence. Nathan is who I was talking about earlier, Nathan. Terrence gets his nose twisted and gets in trouble for the immediate. I mean, like coming tomorrow, what's going to happen? So down the road is a whole nother story. All of them. Terrence might get a little bit of grace because he got himself in hot water by telling merchants the truth in the beginning. And then he got himself in some trouble. But this stuff leads to extremely serious stuff. Intimidating witnesses, obstruction of justice, the talks with the Biden White House. I mean, we're getting into John Clancy novel territory with this. That part of the story will be told. But now, how do we get in a courtroom, on television, in front of everybody? What are we down to now? About 35, 36% of Americans, this isn't on their radar screen, and they think Trump is crazy and nobody cheated and everything was fine. What, seriously, we got maybe 35% maybe that strongly feel that way. What if we've got this trial ongoing on every channel, YouTube channel, RSBN, MSNBC, all these creepo left-hand stations or channels, whatever, people on the right, people on the left, people in the middle, everybody's curious, and all the truths start coming out. Or somebody cracks. I don't know, maybe Ruby's daughter, Ruby's gardener, or somebody. I mean, it's not just Ruby and her daughter that were involved, but that's the only ones we're hearing about. How much you want to bet? There's some people that were way more on the inside than Ruby and her daughter that had been talked to. Because we had no idea there was a Terrence Bradley who knew all about Fani. We didn't know squat. We didn't know squat about 10 trips to the islands in 7 months. 10 trips in 7 months. We didn't know that. We thought they were furiously working away on how to screw over Trump and put Sidney Powell in jail. But they come up with these half-baked, plea agreements that amount to zero, no record, no expunged, everything gone, goodbye. And they're eating caviar and drinking Grey Goose. So we didn't know nothing about that. And then along comes Terrence. And Terrence up there spilling his guts. So what's the next surprise? We didn't know Terrence from a stack of wood until that one day. We were all like, holy cow. Now, who's the one? What was her name? I wouldn't plan on talking about her, but it's odd. She disappeared. She was on Fani's side. She's the one that smacked Terrence upside the head with the business of the assault accusation at Nathan's law firm, and him having to leave 20 grand behind. What was her name? Anyway. I put it in a thumbnail. Anyway, she's gone. Nobody's heard from her. She's not listed in any filings, so she may have been a white hat plant, that maybe Terrence was thinking, okay, I'll play along and play dumb and wiggle out of this. And she let Terrence know, no, you already crossed the Rubicon and you're finished. But what was her name? I'm seeing if anybody puts it in the chat. So let me see. Oh, way behind on comments. Yeah, I heard the Judge Radio interview too. Let's see. Well, he's a Republican. I was shocked he was only 36 years old. Or 30, he's mid-30s somewhere. Hi, Angela. Well, you can always re-listen, sweetheart. But anyway, there was a lady attorney opposite of Merchant. I'll see her name in one of my thumbnails and get mad. But anyway, she just, after that day, she busted out Terrence. And Terrence looked like he was going to, get sick to his stomach. And Robert Gravoy was saying, man, this is awful. What they did to him. I hope he has someone to talk to and doesn't do anything irrational or, seriously concerned that he was going to, hurt himself or something. And I had just caught the tail end of it, had to go back and re-listen. But I can't remember her name. But anyway, so you see these little games like that where this person would play in such a big role on Fani's team. And then after she did that to Terrence, you don't hear a peep out of her. And all the new filings don't even, they say CC carbon copies, what we used to say in the old days, to so-and-so, who got a copy, right, of the filings. And everybody's name is on there but hers. Well, you got to rest your nerves, Angela, so you can, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, hi, Lori. Well, that stress brings on those migraines and stuff, folks. You got, I tell you, as we look at it, like I said, with Cuomo, now, what else have we got going on with these big media personalities? Are we going to see, all right, wait, I won't get ahead of myself. We see Cuomo, he got unceremoniously dumped from CNN right around the same time those two producers, big time producers of CNN, got busted. They're looking at 20, 30 years in the joint. One of them already got sentenced for messing around with young people. I mean, young. And his brother had to resign ostensibly for messing around with a staff member. That's not why. Don't forget, he was the governor when Trump sent down, I think in California was one hospital ship, in New York was the other, right there in Liberty Harbor. I've been there by boat. So anyway, sent that hospital ship, and they purposefully contaminated that damn thing. It was supposed to be overflow, like somebody throws out a knee or somebody breaks their wrist rollerblading, take them to the hospital ship and keep the regular hospitals quarantined, right? Oh, we made a mistake. We people that tested positive by accident to the hospital ship. So now we don't have any place to keep everybody separate. The hospitals are contaminated, and so is the hospital ship. That was done on purpose. It ain't forgotten. And don't forget, we had National Guard assisting in the hospitals. Yeah, they were assisting, all right. They were documenting who's running around doing TikTok videos, okay? Who's doing what? Who came up with that business of filming You know, the island they take paupers to and convicts who don't have any family, don't have anybody, they don't have any money, they have nothing. They bury him on an island. I know the name, I just can't pull it out right now because of my uh, dusty memory. But maybe somebody in the chat knows the name of the island, but it's a very famous name for the island. It's a pauper's grave. Who started that garbage? Once a month or twice a month. I think it's once every 2 weeks or once every 30 days. They take unclaimed people out of the morgues, been on ice, that have no one, or prisoners who've been in jail for 30 years and their family has all passed away and they're by themselves and they pass away. And that's where they bury them, on that island. And they stack them up I think it's 5 high. And somebody came out with a story that things were so bad with the CVID, they were burying people in mass graves. Remember that, folks? And somebody took a drone and filmed when they were doing their bi-monthly or monthly internment of paupers and convicts, and claimed that things were so bad in the city of New York that that's what they were doing with everyday people. Maybe we'll find out who started that crap. Hart Island. Thank you, single songwriter. Hart Island. You all remember that? You all remember that psychological warfare operation? I do. And I was watching one YouTube guy that's smart, is an attorney who lives in New York and fell for it. I won't say who he was, but he fell for it. So anyway, one key thing that Fani brought up. Remember, this is an intellectual exercise. Lawfare. Logic, intellect, okay? Game theory. One thing Fani brought up, I'm a constitutional officer. Okay? You don't hear people talking about that. You hear the talking heads on whatever news service just mention she says that. Well, you can't do this to me because I'm a constitutional officer. They repeat it, and they keep on with the conversation. Well, Nathan Wade, blah, 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 blah. Well, what does that mean? I guarantee the judge knows what it means. I guarantee you Trump's team knows what it means. The Willis team, they're such big mouths and know-it-alls. They'll throw everything out there, including the kitchen sink, and they don't think. Well, she's inferring that she has some manner of protection from the normal judicial process. Correct? Aren't I correct? Because she says she's a constitutional officer. She said it at least 3 times. Wait a minute. What do you mean, Fani? What? You're a constitutional officer? What does that mean? Well, I'm a layman and I'm just sitting here thinking, oh, does that mean that the state Senate has got to impeach you, vote to impeach you? Does that mean that the House, State House, Georgia State House, has got to file articles of impeachment? And then you got to be tried in the Senate? Because you said many, many times, can't do it to me, I'm a constitutional officer. Oh, I forgot. That's the same thing Trump's been saying about his presidency. You guys see? Sometimes the answer appears to be right underneath my old nose, just right there. We heard Sadow say one time, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. He was talking about rules for defense attorneys. If that's the rules for defense attorneys, it should apply for prosecuting attorneys. Well, I'll put it on the shoe on this foot. Fanny's a gander and Trump's a goose or whatever they want. It's good for you, Fanny. It's good for Trump. Maybe they're waiting to pull that card out. I don't see where I'm off base as a layman, okay, walking through history, learning like everybody else is. What gives her a leg up over Nathan, over Terrence, over everybody else involved, she says, is because she was an elected official and sworn in as a constitutional officer, so you guys can't be messing with me. And the judge apparently agrees. And every news agency does not contest that statement. Well, we'll see. Maybe that might pop out at the right time for Trump. So I think this judge is going to do the right thing. But a lot of people aren't going to realize that the right thing is going to be to give them enough rope, okay? Don't save them from themselves. Don't take them down off the scaffold and, call the whole thing off. You want more rope? Here's some more rope. You want to go to trial? Here we go. Hi, Justin. How you doing? Yeah, it's a good show. So just keep that in mind. Whatever the judge does tomorrow, keep that in mind, that the entire goal is to foster understanding, to short circuit and override the mainstream media and the propaganda and get to the truth. Truth will bring understanding and unity. Oh my goodness, Sandy. Sandy went to buy me a coffee in a big way. I appreciate it, Sandy. Let me see where's Sandy's? Sandy's comment. Well, I can only go so far back. It was 12 minutes ago. There you go. There. Sandy, I appreciate it so much. Boom, boom, boom for Sandy. So the thing is not to get upset without an analysis. And I remember a long time ago, I was told during a training, I was in situations where you had to go out and meet with people and you had to be places where bad things happen, right? We were told a number of things, but a lot of times, thanks, Nikki and Jersey Joe, boom, boom, boom. Most people are good people. Most people you run into are good people. And I've mentioned it many times before, treat everybody like you would how you would want your mother to be treated in any situation. If you feel like you're in an argument at the cashier at the grocery store or even, really bad situations, let your actions and your affect, A-F-F-E-C-T, your affect, reflect the manner in which you would want your mother to be treated. And more people that take that not your dad, not anybody else. You know, I'm not saying go up to some hairy guy that's having problems or something and give him chocolates and a kiss on the cheek. I'm not saying that. I'm saying understand their feelings and show them the same respect you would do with your mother. So, with all that stuff in mind, most people are good people. This judge, let me tell you, he is in the catbird seat and he deserves to be. He earned it. He has an upstanding record. Yeah, he gave Fani $150. I've had friends before in business and politics. You would have the biggest liberal nitwit running for some little local office, and you give him a few bucks for his campaign. So I mean, you met at a diner every week or so. You don't want to say, oh, I like so and so more than you. You know, these are people you hung around with and a lot of times grew up with, and you contributed. You know, you never know how people are going to. Trump used to be a Democrat. Reagan used to be a Democrat. You never know. So this judge, if he loses the election with the new age that is coming, there's going to be a place for that judge. And there's going to be a lot of vacancies. There's going to be a lot of vacancies behind the doors of law offices. There's going to be a lot of vacancies behind the doors of judges' chambers and on down the line. Because this can't happen again. We got one shot at it. And we can't afford as a nation to have people that either one, don't understand the Constitution and the law. We can't tolerate them being in positions of influence or power. And two, if they're purposefully undermining the Constitution and the law, same thing. We can't afford to have them around. And we're separating the wheat from the chaff. And this judge, even if he loses this election coming up, look at what happened with the primary. Georgia couldn't even get it right. California was still counting votes. I've got it somewhere on my phone, but I don't want to jump out of the studio. I don't know, something like I forget how many hundreds of thousands of votes they're still piddling around with. After Argentina did their whole nation in 6 hours. California's taken a week. So the judge knows what's up. If they want him out, they're going to kick him out. But that's not where it ends. It's the beginning. It's a new beginning, and he could be on federal appeals. Trump could catapult him up somewhere. Let's just see how he does. See how he reasons. Understand what the goal is for public disclosure, or as we've been reading in the you-know-what drops, D-class, D-E-C-L-A-S. That's the way it's spelled most of the times in the Q drop, D-class. That is when the you-know-what hits the fan for the D party, and not liberals, nice liberals, good liberal people that I grew up with. I'm talking about the radical faction that has taken it over. So I hope everything that I've discussed with you makes sense and calms everybody's minds. That I know most of you folks out there ain't nothing shaking but the leaves on the trees. And you all are so cool. You got change for an ice cube. I know that. But for the people out there listening that feel that things are out of control and that there's a dark future with no hope, hey, the best is yet to come. And let's see what happens tomorrow. And let's not be like this Tictoc bill where you got the majority of Republicans. Yeah, let's get them, make them sell. Boy, that's really free market. That's kind of Stalinistic, if you ask me. Make a company sell just because somebody says something without proof or trial or anything. So I implore, just in case there's anybody working in a congressional staff. I mean, they got a lot of staff members. They got people who know staff members. You're listening. Tell them to use their kidneys. I'm poking the side of my head right now. Use your kidneys and think about what you're doing. Are you going to be hurting Elon Musk? You're going to be hurting Trump? You're going to be putting them in a position where they have to spend millions, tens of millions of dollars that could be going in employees' pockets? Give to a bunch of what? Lawfare attorneys? Every single damn one of them need to lose their licenses to be thrown the hell out of the profession. And that, I believe, is what we're going through right now. We're going through separating the wheat from the chaff. All right, folks. I appreciate it. Man, I got a phone full of articles and stuff. Let me tell you, normal people that don't think there's anything wrong. Andy No put up a report. Where is it? He put up a report where a teacher in Minnesota, I believe, was arrested. Where in the world is it? He was arrested for harming a young one, very young one. And I mean, maybe 2 digits in age, maybe 10. Here he is. Oh my goodness. 6 to 12 years old. Andy No put this out today. For people who think that broadcasts like mine are just for people who are misogynists, people who are racists. No, this is the kind of stuff I don't like. A teacher in Montgomery County, Maryland, oh my word, was arrested this week over the S3 actual abuse of children between 6 and 12 years old. Now, hold on. His name is about half the length of War and Peace, but I'll read it anyway. Irvin Giovanni Alfaro Lopez is an illegal foreign national from El Salvador who was previously deported twice but kept returning. Montgomery County is a, quote, sanctuary jurisdiction where law enforcement cannot investigate immigration status. And there's a picture of him, of his big fat head sitting there. And I've already gone over how they're allowing them to be police officers. They're allowing them to carry weapons off duty. They're allowing them to participate in local elections. Don't act stupid. Wake the hell up. What's going on? And if you don't have any respect for this country's borders and this country, the history of this country, you better look at yourself in the mirror, okay? And decide whether or not you're an American or just some kind of radical anarchist. Because that's the way people are being perceived that won't wake up. They're either morons or they're anarchists or they have some psychological problem. And we're just trying to keep you from being perceived that way. If you're not an idiot, don't behave like one and people won't think you're an idiot. That's usually how it works. But anyway, folks, let me see. That was one story I wanted to get out of many. Oh my gosh. Texas put out a thing about internet safety. what I was talking about earlier in the broadcast about not allowing children access to graphic stuff, okay? How people go to jail for doing that. But Pornhub, okay? I had no idea this. You don't have to prove your age or nothing. If you got a picture phone, you can go right on in there. That's any age. Every single one of the people that run that site should be put in jail. Texas has got a law against that. So what does Pornhub do? We're not going to show anybody anything in Texas. We're taking the whole site out of Texas. Well, big deal. You still belong in jail, every damn one of you. And maybe that's what we'll be seeing, folks. I had no idea that was the case. Apparently, all you do is just go there. Little Susie, little Johnny, whatever. All right, folks. I will be seeing y'all. Let's see, what's tonight? I want to thank Sandy and Bev and Mike and Robin for helping sponsor tonight's program. And Tennessee, I see you in there. Tennessee helped out earlier. And I can't help but say thank you for that. I certainly do appreciate it. And everybody else has helped me through the week. Gary, I didn't see him tonight, but he helped. Wanda's helped. Lone Wolf's helped, right? Miss Menderson. I'm looking at the recent list. Christopher, he helped. Angela. Yeah. That's on into last week. I appreciate everybody helping. I think I got everybody's name mentioned. Anyway, folks. All right, happy birthday, Roland. Ha! Oh boy. I'll just look through the chats. Oh my goodness. Well, we better get to sleep there, Nikki. Well, anyway, folks, thank you again for spending your precious time with me. Let's see what happens tomorrow with Big Fani. All right, folks, I'll be talking to you soon, probably Sunday unless something big happens. Wait a minute. Tomorrow's Friday. I broadcast tomorrow night. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And you can be part of the chats or just watch the chats go by. But anyway, you all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.